Happy Wednesday. Rainy outside in New York. Just gonna give it a few minutes. Have a nice guest on, a great realtor. Um, Very cool dude, man. And see if we can get my man on. Get my guy on. So let's see. While we're waiting on him, real estate market interest rates are still holding. I just posted something the other day where, although rates are not, and they're never going to be COVID rates again. You're not getting no 3%. They're still relatively where we were before COVID. There's no, I actually think it's slightly lower, maybe. I gotta check. I gotta look at that thing again. But yeah, man, it's not a lot of difference in interest rates. Well, I know they seem high from 3%, but if you got a good deal, if you got the house, you see the house that you want, go for it. Don't wait, because it may cost you more. When the rates go down, they will go down a little bit more. But when they go down, people are gonna increase their prices. They're already, like, the rates are high, or not even high, but the rates are where they're at now, and people are still putting their asking price over what maybe my guy, maybe the let's make sure, if you get a nice deal, you get in that house, man. Buy it if you can afford it. Jump on it. Get yourself a great realtor like my man Sean in the Waller team.
Yo,
What up, brother?
what's good, bro? What's good? What's good?
I'm here, man. Just grinding, usual stuff.
But you know how it go. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for having me on your live
Nah,
today.
appreciate you for joining, man. So I was just saying that, I know a lot of people are complaining. I posted something about rates, interest rates, as far as where they are, although they're higher than what maybe COVID rates are, they're not that much higher pre-pandemic. They're like, maybe a quarter higher, nothing crazy. And people are trying to wait till they go down, but as you know, the trend is when the rates go down, the prices go up.
Prices go up. That's fact. That's fact.
So you're costing yourself money. You're not really saving
You're not
yourself.
saving anything. You're not saving. Yo, my grandmother used to say all the time, you can't change the weather, but you just prepare for it. You know what I'm saying? You can't change it.
Exactly. Be prepared for it and figure out how to adjust within it. So,
And listen, we're still seeing prices that's going way over,
bro,
offers that's going way over list price. Multiple offers still
yeah,
out there. People
man.
are back to waiving contingencies. It's
I
getting real.
was just telling someone this, like, I've a lot of my clients are getting outbid. Like last month, like 7 clients outbid.
Wow.
And they were bidding over. I have one client, they're putting down 250.
Wow.
And they were going they were going a little too low. They were going like maybe 10,000 over asking.
Okay, but
They
still,
were getting
still
outbid.
250 down though. That's
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I'm like, yo, the cash is, but people want that 30, that extra 30, 40. I guess, listen, or
yeah.
whatever. But I'm like, if cash ain't good no more, what are we doing right now?
What are we
But
doing?
I will say is they're buying in an area where it's an affluent area.
Okay,
So I'm sure other people are,
they're coming in
if they're not putting
right down.
200, they're probably putting 100, 150. So if you're getting an extra 40, 50 on the price, and you're giving up an extra 50, it kind of balances out in that respect. But I mean, listen, 250 cash, 200. I'm like,
but it also goes for timing as well, right? Because if they probably would have put an offer in on that house in December, they probably would have got it without an issue at all.
Exactly. But now, and this client has been outbidding for like, they've been getting outbid for like the last 6 months.
Really?
But they were a little, they're older couple, so they were a little conservative on their bids. They were like, if asking is 300, I'm gonna give them 302.
Being that tough negotiator.
Yeah.
It's always that client that think that they're that tough negotiator. I'll give them $3,001. Dude, you really want me to write this up?
Like we're at the Price is Right. Like yeah.
And as the agent, like we feel crazy even writing that offer up because we know where it's going to go.
Right.
You know.
Right. That at the bottom of the list. If we get to it, we'll get to it. So, but we were talking. I want to talk to you because you're always on point with just the social aspect of real estate, and I love when you were talking about working with Black realtors. I always listen to you when you talk about that. But then I also want to talk to you about like the trajectory of your family's income or your family's generational wealth when you buy a home. Like there's a difference in not only expectation, but there's a difference in the curve of where your family goes because now you own it.
Of course.
Just give me your thoughts on that. How does that, being in the game as long as you've been on the sell side of real estate, how does that really affect families overall?
It's a pattern, right? It's a pattern that we see as kids, right? So if you see that your parents own a home,
right,
and you've grown up in a home your whole life, buying a home is not a scary thing for you.
Right.
But you're a family who stayed in an apartment, may have been like, a fixed income situation where that apartment is, again, we're passing those apartments down from generation to generation. And you think it's normal to pay $500 for rent. But
that annoys the hell out of me.
In the grand scheme of things, it holds you back so much because your income could only exceed a certain number, right? The environment that you're in, it's not going to benefit you at all.
Right.
So to answer your question, the trajectory of it is it puts you in a better position as you get older, and as your kids get older, you can pass that down.
Bro.
And what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. I didn't think about the other half of that because, I mean, we all have family and friends. They're like fourth generation in the projects. Rent is $200. And I've seen it where they are fighting to keep that apartment.
Bro, we pass it down like we own it.
Yes.
We pass it, we own it.
And when it's time to move out, or when the people say you got to get out, it is a family, like they got to have a family meeting for that. And it's still only like a small 2-bedroom, 500 square feet. I'm like, what are you fighting for?
What are you fighting for? Not your friend.
Right. Absolutely.
Your friend. They do not care about you. And a lot of them are selling off those buildings at this point.
Bro, I'm in Rockaway Beach, Far Rockaway. Most of the buildings in the projects are now, when I was young, they were projects. Now they're privatized. And now all those people, those families that live there forever, they're getting them out of there because it's not on a night shift. It's private. So yeah, absolutely. I didn't even think about the other half. But yes, you're absolutely right. So when you actually grew up in a home, your expectation becomes bigger. And I've seen it where people life happens, or they're still in the beginning process of building their own wealth, and they have to go to an apartment, and they really feel like they are disappointed, or they didn't live up to what their family expectations were.
Yeah.
And listen, if you're a first generation and you own a home for your first generation, it takes a little while to build up that steam where you're third, fourth generation, and everyone, you're at the point where you're passing homes down, which is something else, because like in our culture, we don't necessarily keep the home in the family all the time. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't.
Mm-hmm.
We don't necessarily go, let me take out equity from my home to buy my child a home.
Equity
But
is
other
take
cultures,
equity out of that home and pay your kids through college.
right,
So it's totally different aspects of owning a
right,
home, right? Like you can do a HELOC, and instead of your kids falling behind at 18, 19, 20 years old with this crazy student loan debt,
right,
you can pay it off with that
pay it
at a
off,
low rate,
pay it
right?
off, pay
You're
it off.
putting them ahead of the
Mm-hmm.
game.
And you that loan isn't building like that. Those student loans build. You start off with 10. By the time you finish paying it off, you done paid 30, and you still owe another 20. So
Exactly.
you're absolutely right about
And
that. You're absolutely right.
inside of it, you see it. How does that's affecting their DTI? Because every month they have a $800,000,
Right.
$900,000 student loan debt that they
Nuts.
pay that's going
Nuts.
nowhere.
No, it ain't going nowhere. It ain't, I had a client last year. They are a doctor. When I
Mm-hmm.
saw that student loan, the amount they owed on their credit report, I was like, this is a whole house payment in itself.
Yeah. I had a doctor tell me that, when I was still living in Queens, I had a black doctor. He told me, he said, I'm going to die with my student loan debts. He's like, I'm not paying these things off.
Bro.
I'll just keep deferring it.
And I don't blame him, to be honest with you, because when you talk about $300,000, $400,000 that you got to pay back, that's still building interest that don't go nowhere.
Nowhere. It goes to nothing. It doesn't benefit to nothing at the end of it when you pay it, or like it does nothing for you.
No.
But again, it goes back to the generational
Right.
part of it, right?
Right.
Buying a home as early as possible to secure your family for the future is the goal. It has to be the goal.
It has to be. It has to be. I totally agree. It'll stabilize the family, not only the foundation of the family,
Mm-hmm.
but stabilizes where you're going moving forward. Right now, again, sometimes things happen, you fall back, but if you can get a solid home for the family, it centralizes where everyone is going, and most importantly, it's a financial tool for you moving forward in every aspect, tax wise, like you said, HELOC wise, the equity that you're building up. And I just don't, when I have new homeowners who come from rentals,
Mm-hmm.
they start worrying about everything else. I can't fix nothing, or the payment. But for every con, which I don't even call it a con, it's just what would you call
I
it?
would call it. It's not a con. It's a learning tool. Let's grow up. We have to.
It's a learning tool. Exactly.
We have to
For every learning tool, there's 3 or 4 positives for each one that you're gonna get that you're gonna get if you stick to the plan and stay in there. In the end, you're gonna come up on the better side of it.
Yeah. That's
so. I don't. I try to be patient, because it's still a scary ordeal when you're going from maybe 1,200. Well, not in New York now. Rent is the same amount as almost a mortgage payment.
Without it.
So, like, if you live in New York, I don't even know if you can figure out how to come up with a small down payment or get a grant or something. You're better off doing that than paying rent.
It's sacrifice. We have to learn how to do that too.
Absolutely.
Like, growing up, especially us, I think, whatever, we become adults at 18, right? And we think that we have to move out of the house at 18 and to get these apartments at 18 or whatever.
Right.
I know the cultures that do not even allow their kids to move out of the house.
I'm reconsidering that thought process. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm really like, that was what my parents, my mom and dad, they were out of the house by the time they were 18. I just happened to go away to college at that time, so I wasn't here. But when I came back, the whole thought process was, you gotta get your own place, you gotta figure it out. But I think I'm gonna let my son rock until at least mid-20s, or at least he's established, he's got some money aside.
Yeah.
That way, when he goes, if there's something comes up, he's got money saved to the side.
Got money saved up for it. Yeah. Because we are the only culture that's not doing that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Every other culture, they be in their 30s. Still
they wait,
saving, still sticking to the plan.
and they have 3 generations in one household.
But I've seen that where, I've ran into that same family maybe 5, 10 years later. Everyone has a home. Home is, if not paid off, halfway paid off. The mortgage is low. They're not stressed out about, bills and, whatever. What if the house, something breaks in the house?
Yeah.
There's a steady escalation of generational wealth, when we have time to kind of move into adulthood and real life and kind of work on that, but there's always that balance of, we always think, oh, we're babying you, we're coddling you, but the reality is, listen,
Bro,
we live in a time where things are expensive, man.
On paper, I was an adult at 18. I probably didn't become a real adult till like 35.
My man. Probably when I had my son, I was like, let me stop being an adult right now.
Exactly. We hit generational wealth, right? I think it's been one of those words or those phrases that have been used a lot during the pandemic. A lot of people hear the word, they hear the wealth part of it, but they forget about the generational.
The generation, yes.
It's not going to, it starts with you, but it's not going to, you're probably not even going to reap the rewards from it. But the goal is for your kids and their kids to reap the rewards from it. We have to put something behind.
Right. Absolutely. The other thing is, and here's the important part, that if you're that first generation or early generation, you have to be willing to take a sacrifice.
Yeah. And
you can't be my child moves into the middle class America, my grandchild moves into upper class America, and maybe by the fourth or fifth, we're on Easy Street, and I'm a grandchild, I'm a grandfather, great grandfather, chilling and watching the progression of how things rolled.
Fact. Yeah. That's a fact. And again, it goes back to what you said at the beginning of the live, how we both talked about it, about working with people that look like you, walk like you, talk like you. Like, it's people that can't understand us having this conversation. We get it, right? Like, we get it. We've probably had those conversations with our parents or with friends and family, and we understand the dynamic of it.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And we know how to talk to each other about it. Like, listen, passing down an apartment in the projects is not a strategy.
Nah, not at all.
I don't know anyone that's ever passed down an apartment in projects that is sitting on money.
No.
And they're paying,
absolutely not.
They're only paying $250, $300 a month.
Absolutely not.
Look at their bank account. Like, see that money, they're not saving it.
Yeah, they got a car in a lot that's costing $1,000, and they paying $250 for rent, which is
they pay $250 for their apartment.
Crazy.
It's and then it's generation, right? It's going. Your grandmother had that house for 30 years. Now you're going 30 years, and you're going to try to pass it down to your kids for another 30 years. When you could have, if grandma would have bought that house 30 years ago, it'd be paid.
Right.
It could have went to you.
Right.
And you could be sitting on something that's either debt free, or you get, again, it goes to generational, man. Like, we have to really stop being so selfish and think about the people behind us.
And listen, I be wanting to. My dad, I love him. Like, we're like this, but every time he talk about he could have brought a brownstone for $80,000 in the '80s, I swear I want a football tackle him. I be wanting to say, yo, my man, just stop talking right now, because I'm gonna be pissed off. Yeah. But he buy a brownstone, then look, you can't get a box of empty brownstone for less than 2 point something right now.
Never. Like, and you're fighting everyone else for it.
Like, I was like, man, listen.
And people kill me when they talk about gentrification. I get it. You know who doesn't really care about their neighborhoods being gentrified? The people who own the homes in the neighborhood. They don't care.
Exactly.
Buy into those neighborhoods that care. Now.
Come on in. Come on in. Do you need an apple pie or something when you move in? You paid how much?
Starbucks down the block from me at this point. I want to have the hot yoga spots down. You know what I mean? Like, bro, the people who live there don't care. It doesn't
care. Fancy coffee popping up.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And now I could pass this down to my kids. And now this $3 million brownstone is probably going to be worth $10 million when they get it.
Absolutely. With probably no mortgage or a small mortgage left on it. But you know that, like, I'm so, I hope people get the idea that, you know, when you buy, yeah, it's going to be a sacrifice if you're the first one. But if you are the first one, you're setting your children and your grandchildren, your great grandchildren for a different trajectory.
Mm-hmm.
You're passing down, like you said, millions of dollars, as opposed to passing down an apartment for $250 that, you know, ain't never going to get painted. The pipes gonna get rusted. They ain't getting changed.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
Your pipes clinking every night in the winter.
you're gonna get robbed if you go in there.
Yeah, yeah. It's honestly, it's not even worth it. Like, especially once you start really, again, growing up, and you want better. We should all want better.
Absolutely.
At this point, we should all want better, and let the people who really need those apartments get those apartments now. We enjoyed it for 30, 40 years.
Pass on. And if you don't feel comfortable at home, get a condo or co-op. Like, I prefer the condo because the equity is going to build up, but start somewhere, because at the end of the day, you can always resell a co-op and use that to buy something bigger. Like,
Yeah.
anytime you own, you're always in a better situation when you're ready to move on to the next, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Condo, 1-bedroom home, whatever it is.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that too. I want us to really start getting into the point that we're upgrading. Like, buy the starter, stay in it for a few years, build some equity, upgrade. There's nothing wrong with that. Your first home does not have to be the forever home.
Exactly. I'm always nervous when everyone wants to dream home the first one
Those
out the gate. Like,
are usually the bad deals. Those are usually the worst houses to get.
Those are the money pits that you put a lot of money in,
Mm-hmm.
and you're underwater
You're
5 years now and trying to
losing it. Yeah.
Absolutely. I totally agree. I'm glad you said that. I like, start with the small one. You know, it's just you and your significant other. Maybe you got a baby on the way. Get you a small two bedroom. Right.
Mm-hmm.
More than likely, y'all gonna want something bigger. That house is gonna grow in equity. You're gonna pay down a little. You're gonna have some money. You're gonna sell it or keep it. Either way, you're gonna use it home equity loan to buy something bigger. Mm-hmm. Rent that out. There's so many positive options to do it.
You have the thing is, you have those options now.
Right.
You have.
Right.
And the longer you wait, like you said earlier, the more money you're going to spend. You could have bought a house in 2021 that's probably $100,000 cheaper than what it costs right now.
Absolutely. You're spot on with that, because the way these prices are going, like, and you would have had a decent rate. You wouldn't have been crying about the rate. So I'm, brother. Listen, man, I'm not gonna hold you. I try to get on here for a quick second. Please introduce yourself, introduce your team. Tell us when you have an open house coming. If you got some stuff, you know, let's go ahead. Let me hear it, brother.
I always feel weird giving these formal introductions, right? But my name is Sean. I am a real estate agent. I have a team. The Waller team consists of 5 amazing agents. We work everywhere. We're literally Westchester all the way to Montauk if we have to go, and anywhere in between. So Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, wherever you need it, we're there. I've been in the business for a long time now, hence the grays. I have a little experience. And as far as open houses, we don't really have any open houses scheduled right now, but we do have some inventory that's going to hit the market soon. But it's a great cast of realtors who all are here to help you out.
Nice.
Yeah,
man. Listen, hit the Waller team up. Hit Sean. He's great, man. He really. I referred a few clients to him, and I've gotten nothing but positive feedback on his attentiveness, his knowledge, and his just passion and the way he goes after it. So hit him up. DM him on Instagram. If you know, or DM me, let me know you want to work with him. If you need his information, you know, just as we always say, use our people in these spaces, you know, because other cultures use their people. You know, there's nothing wrong with going outside your culture, whatever it is. But if you can, if you trust the person and you know that they're doing good work, give them a shot.
And I'll say this to people that are looking at actually looking to get into the game, right? We need more than real estate agents.
Yes.
We are influxed with real estate agents. I'm not telling anyone to stay away from it, but we need more. It's so many other parts of this game that we need appraisers.
Appraisers, yes. Appraisers, inspectors.
Part of this. We need appraisers that look like us. I'm telling you.
Absolutely.
More home inspectors.
Inspectors, yeah.
Lenders like Lamar. Like we need more. I know the real estate part of it looks sexy.
Right.
A lot of work. It is. But we need is so many other elements. We need contractors.
Mm-hmm.
We just need.
Oh, contractors, bro.
The hard is to find a good contractor, especially one
I find one and I stick to them. I'm like, yo, you need something for Christmas?
Yo, one of mine's moved away. I'm like, oh man, it's tough. Electricians, like,
yep.
trades, man. We need a lot of people in this business that could really elevate our community for sure.
Absolutely, and do it right. Get licensed, get everything. Like, get your insurance. Make sure you know your skill set, and people will use you. Once you do one great job, and you're fair, you're gonna get a whole bunch. Because people, like, not everyone wants to fix their own home.
No, I'm one of them. My hands are. There ain't no calluses on this hand, bro. I can't. I put a picture and I feel accomplished. I put this picture. Couldn't tell me nothing about this for like 3 weeks. Nothing else. I keep the economy going. That's how I look at it. I keep the economy.
Absolutely. I'm giving back. Yo, listen, bro, I won't hold you. Thanks again for your time. Please hit them up. I'm gonna post some nuggets from this interview. And let's keep it going, brother. We're gonna do some business this year for sure.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, brother.
Soon, bro.
Later.
Peace.